Yo, what's up, YouTube? I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. Today, I'm bringing you the update notes for not update notes, patch notes for 8.10 update and 8.11 notes. Just regular patch notes. One's the update, one's the non-update. So we'll start with the update notes going live November 2nd. We'll just look at the skins. X-Ball skin is actually not bad. The Vulcan skin looks good. Achilles looks good. Purse looks good. Like, these all look like pretty good skins. So give it like a 6, 7, 9, 7. Like, not bad. Not bad overall. I like this Vulcan skin a lot. All right, Spectral Armor nerf. That's about as irrelevant as it gets. If they have crit, you're going to be building this. And if they don't have crit, you're not going to be building this. And instead of getting crit for 300 when you build this, you'll be getting crit for 298. So, Spectral Armor nerf. Woo! Good nerf to start it off. Bottom set, decreased dash damage from 60 to 80%, 50 to 70%. So, when you get like that double dash from his spawn of set and the whatever it's called, instead of it doing 180%, it'll just be 170%. So it's just a nice little nerf to his clear and his poke. Nike nerf. Wait, why does it? Spectral Armor nerf, and then it just says set, and then it says Nike nerf, Cthulhu nerf. It's just, this is not a set nerf. This is just set balance. Nice little nerf to Nike. Doesn't really change anything in the early and even mid-ish game a little bit. 5% is not that much, but when you get to the late game, instead of having 5,000 health, she'll have 4,500 health. So, I mean, it's a nerf, definitely. It'll hurt her a little bit, but you'll still be building Sunder against Nike or some sort of anti-shield, maybe an Onk. Cthulhu, awesome. This God's ult is so OP and so dumb. Why has this been 325% every time? You literally just pop Thorn's ult and you're like, wow, I'm doing a lot. Stupid God. Odin nerf, another God that is stupid. Ring of Spears cooldown. I don't think this is that much of a buff or a nerf, but this one is a pretty big nerf. That shield health is massive. So instead of having 400 on a, I think it's 6 or 7 second cooldown late game, it's now 340 on a 6-7 second cooldown. So extra 60 health. I don't know if it's the ability you max anymore in Odin and solo lane, and then depending on what's happening in support, sometimes you'll still max it. But good little nerf to Odin there. Emotion nerf, and this is the one I saw this, and this might actually kill Umoja. This might be the nerf that puts Umoja into non-S tier. And finally something that happens that actually feels like it's going to make Umoja bad. So you can no longer stack the shields. You can still stack healing, but that shield will only be about 60 instead of like 240 if you spam it 4 times. And then the bounce range, I mean, not massive, but like it's a nice little nerf, so people actually have to group a little bit more. Another Geb nerf. I don't think Geb was like that OP, but his ult damage was a little bit high, so I'm glad they nerfed it. And then Uller. I think Uller was a good hunter, but I mean, I guess this is an okay nerf, but maybe they should have nerfed his cooldowns more than his damage. Because he's kind of just a spammy God in the late game, and I don't think it's really his damage that should be nerfed. It should be just how spammy he actually is because of his passive. So that's the change. I mean, overall, it's pretty good. A couple things that are kind of irrelevant right there, but I mean, overall, not a bad patch. Next is 8.11. We got Optimus Prime Geb, Starscream Jingwei, Megatron Raw, GI Optimus Prime Geb, GI Starscream Jingwei, GI Megatron Raw. I've said these on stream. These Geb skins, well, I don't know which one they showed on stream, but the Geb skins are like S-A tier. Starscream is like D tier to me, and then Megatron is like B, C tier to me. I don't really care too much for these two. I think Megatron's okay, but the Geb ones are, I mean, the Optimus Prime one is cool, and then I just don't think, it just doesn't make too much sense. I don't like it that much. I have to see how this one looks, but overall, it looks pretty sick. I like that skin. Season 8 Morgan Le Fay, okay skin. Divine Wind Gilgamesh, okay. I like this CERN skin. Elkin CERN, I like that skin. Ginger Dread. Bobby, little play on words. That was a good one. Ginger Dread Baba, I like this skin. I like the Tiamat skin, and the On Her skin is sick. We'll go through a little bit more than just like the buffs and nerfs, because there's a lot of stuff in this patch. So this update takes place November 16th, which is in about 3 weeks. The Battle Pass is all you can get in the Battle Pass if you guys want to take a quick look at it. I'm not going to go over this part too much. Quality of life. So this has been talked about as something that Smite pros and Smite like ranked players have wanted for so long. Like, ever since League implemented it and people that played League realized how long it takes us to get into queue versus how long it takes them to get into queue, like, people have been wanting this. When League did this, it was genius. And now I'm so glad that we finally have it. Massive. It makes playing ranked on stream actually manageable, like, mentally, instead of playing 15 minutes outside a game, or 50 minutes outside of game and then like 25 in game. So I like that. Another big one, players can now see their allies' relics cooldown. So now if you're spamming your Geb to blink ult and he doesn't have his blink, man, you can't spam him anymore. So that's nice. This makes it so it's just easier to get god leaderboards. I know a lot of people like that, so that's pretty nice for the people that are interested in the god leaderboards. Not really interested in the owned gods thing or the bugs or items. Yeah, I'm not too interested in most of that. Game modes, Corrupted Arena returns. It will be his own queue. Okay, so new Corrupted Arena, or not new. Corrupted Arena's back. Slash game mode is now scheduled for the first patch in season 9. So no longer will it be this season. They've now delayed it till the beginning of next season. And this is probably one of the best things in the patch. They added a Goldfinch character and nest to the environment near the Gold Fury objective. I don't know if Mario can show you a picture of it, but it actually looks pretty nice. So that's a nice little thing to add in there. So this is just talking about what they're buffing, why they're buffing it. A nice little Death Toll power buff, both magical and physical. That's nice. I'm pretty sure this used to be 1525. And then they buffed the magical without touching the physical. And now they're touching both. Because Death Toll is not getting touched at all. I mean, it bought it all. But now I think this makes it the highest physical power you can get in the early game. And the highest magical power also. Because I think Conduit and what's it called are 35. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. Gilded Arrow's getting a nice little buff also. Cowl was kind of like running rampant, and then they nerfed Cowl a little bit. Now they're buffing Death Toll and Arrow. Benevolence, this is what I begged for. I begged for it when Benevolence got reworked, that it would just consume them automatically. I want my gold. I don't care to give them 35 health. I want my gold. So I can get more gold to get more items to keep them alive and carry these donuts. Shout out Zapman. And then a nice little health cost decrease, which I don't know why, but sure. Vamp Shroud, increased power from 25 to 30. So now I think they're finally finding like the little niche for Vamp Shroud, because before it was like there's just this tank item that also gave you good clear. So you're unkillable and also had good clear. And then they nerfed the power first off, so I was like, well, they're unkillable. Like, that's the upside, but, like, they don't clear that well. Like, it's 25 power compared to 30, and then they're like, okay, well, that did actually nothing. And then they decrease the prots again. Actually nothing. And then they decrease the prots one more time, so it's 15, 10 to 5, and now it's 5 prots, 25 power, and I think this is a nice, 30 power, sorry, a nice little niche for it, where it's actually just a slightly sustained item, a little bit of tankiness, and then still good clear. Instead of Conduit having extra clear, and Sands of Time having cooldown. So I like that they found this little spot for Vamp Shroud. I think this will make it into a good spot. Okay. 5% mitigation on Sigil, sure. Increase the passive duration of Rebuke. Wait, this is the upgraded one. Not bad. I think this makes it so it's a little bit better. It's fine. I think it's still in a fine spot. I don't think it's going to be OP or anything. But I've had a lot of problems just like thinking about this item and just how, for lack of a better word, because it said a lot for Smite stuff, but it's actually just going to be a problematic item. It is balanced poorly, and like the idea of it is fine, but how it's in the game is actually like, I hate it. I actually hate it now. I liked it when it first came out because it was like this full defensive option where you wouldn't do much damage. It was basically just all a little bit of tankiness like into your kit, and then a little bit of damage coming out in the form of that explosion. And now it's health, power, prots from each, and the passive, which makes you do extra damage. On top of that, it's also going down to 3 stacks required instead of 4. So now if you're 1v1ing, say, who's a god that has 3 abilities in their base kit? Soul. So Soul 2's you, 1's to the ground, 3's away, and you get hit by all of them. You get this massive explosion that's actually in like a 35, I think, or 40, 45, somewhere in that area radius. Explosion. That's going to be hitting for 350 to 400. Every time. No cooldown on it. If you jump into a team fight and you're just full tank like Nike, full tank like Achilles, and you just jump into the backline and you're just as tanky as possible, you're going to be doing just like 1,000 damage in a giant circle around you while also being hard to deal with because you're tanky just because of the item. On top of that, if you add in like mystical mail damage, a couple abilities here and there from the god, and then Pridwin, no troll, this item only almost makes it so warriors don't even have to use their base kit to be able to kill backliners. Say Alma just dashes into the backline, ults, gets 6 abilities, 12 abilities dumped on her. She gets this massive explosion for 1,000. Pridwin also chunks for another 500, and then her ult does another 500. You're actually just soloing people without even using your base kit. I hate this item. I hate it so much. You can't even Aegis the burst because it's instant. You don't know if it's like one ability away. Like, it just procs instantly. You can't Aegis it. I know Warrior's Axe is really strong. Sundering Axe is really strong right now, and Bluestone Brutes are super strong. So they're trying to get this item to that spot. The problem is if you look at Bluestone, there's counters to it. the abilities have to hit you to do damage. So say Odin blinks into you. If you Aegis Odin's ability, the blue stone's doing no damage to you. If he bird bombs you, that blue stone is doing no damage to you. Say Warrior's Axe, you're getting poked by a Wukong and he walks up to cudgel you and you dash it. You're fine. He didn't hit you. A Wukong blinks onto you and twos you, but you Aegis it, so the Warrior's Axe doesn't proc onto you. But then if you look at Sigil, if you just dive into the back line, you don't even have to hit your abilities. Just you sitting there eating damage is going to be doing damage. And then you can't Aegis it because you can't tell if it's coming out and the explosion is kind of instant. I could complain about this item for a while, but I'm going to carry on because I hate this item and I hope they nerf it or change it. Like, horrible. I hate it. Anyway, Warrior's Axe. Also another weird thing. I don't know why they're adding power to this. They're decreasing the physical procs, removing the health, and then giving it power and then making it a little more expensive. I'm not a solo laner, so I'll leave the solo laners to talk on that one, but weird. Sundering Axe is also getting power and has no health now. I guess it's supposed to be just more an offensive option than a tank item. So like Sigil's more of the tank item and Axe is more the damage dealing option. Here's Axe is focused more on defensive, so they're keeping it the same thing and then just giving it more procs. Fair enough. Lotus Crown. I think Lotus Crown is completely OP. Nice nerf to Lotus Crown. Another Mystical Mill. Needed a nerf. It's literally the only solo item that gets bought. 100 and then 5 procs down. Makes it a little bit worse, but I still think it's going to be the best item by far. Unless other solo lane items are buffed in this patch. Book of the Dead. The problem with Book of the Dead is it's bad. It's very, very bad unless you have like a Book of Thoth. Because Book of Thoth is giving you like 1500 mana. If you don't have Book of Thoth, you're going to be sitting at like 1000. So getting a 300 shield. I mean, I guess CCR makes it a little bit better. Giving it power makes it a little bit better. But it's just the item is basically a combo deal with Book of Thoth. And when you build both of the items, you're getting no cooldown, no percent pen. It's basically just pure power and slightly tankiness. It's just not a great build path right now. Staff of Mirrodin. A little bit of magical power buff and a decreased cost. I like that. It doesn't get built like at all, but now it's a cooldown and pen item option for mid laners. Maybe supports too. Fail not. Literally just not gotten bought at all. Nice little buff to it. Same with XC. Very rarely gets bought. So it got a nice little buff. I'm not gonna, because I don't know what this is saying. I'm not gonna talk about it because I'd rather like see it. If you're interested, come ask me on my stream about it because I have not seen it in action. I don't know how it looks, what it's going to look like, cooldown, like stuff like that. It's just something that I need to kind of see it and use it before I can tell if it's good. It's like making a decision on Kleena before even seeing what she does. Phantasma increased tick rate from 0.5 to 0.4. Okay. Tearing the Veil decreased scaling damage and decreased initial hit. So just a nice little nerf to her ult damage. I like this buff. Now deals increased damage to only the first enemy hit by the ring toss projectile. Increased initial damage from 75 to 80, plus 20% and then 40%. So that's just a good buff overall for Naja. Don't know if it makes him great, but nice buff. Increased physical power scaling the first 2 hits from 15 per hit to 40%. So it's 2 hits. So this is a 10% power buff late game. Just makes Thor's late game a little bit better. Zeus. He gains movement speed and attack speed while his shield is down. And it stays down for about 3 seconds. So now when Zeus tosses his 1 down to try to run away, or his 2 down, sorry, and then like combo off of it to try to run away, he can actually run or he can fight. This is kind of sick. This makes Zeus just like, he was kind of this all-in mage where it's either you kill him before he gets too much damage off or he dies before he gets too much damage off. And now he's a slightly auto attack oriented god with a little bit of movement speed for safety. I don't think it makes him an ADC god, but maybe. I don't know how good ADC mage items are right now, but maybe that's enough for him. Decreased tide cost on Tidal Surge. Decreased cooldown. This is nice. That's nice. Okay, so Poseidon always kind of struggled having his tide all the way up all the time. I think nerfing how much tide is used across the board is actually a pretty good way to go with it. Before 20, 30, you're using 70% of the tide with 3 abilities. Now you're using 50. So you're using half. So you can use every ability twice. Obviously, you're not going to be cracking twice, but you can use every ability twice and you will finally run out of tide. And that's without auto-attacking. And I saw this one. This is sick. This makes it so if you are diving him, you have to keep in mind that he is going to be shredding you when you get hit by the stinger. And I actually think it's like, it makes sense. Like you're slowed, you're crippled. You should be taking like a little bit extra damage. Like you're kind of putting yourself out of position diving this AMC. He should be something that'd be able to turn and kill. So I like that change. The slow is kind of whatever. It just makes it so you can auto a little bit easier. X-Ball just gets a little bit of auto attack damage across the board. Base attack speed per level, which is actually probably bigger than anything else, is the increased base attack speed per level. Because I think he had either him and On Her were like the slowest, I think. I could be wrong. But now he's got per level 1 to 1.5. So in the late game, he's getting an extra 10% attack speed, which is actually nice. Branching Bullet, a little extra damage too. Shing. Increased damage over time, hook cooldown, mana cost, and then mana cost. I just don't know what they're like. What's the point of Xing Chen? Like, he's kind of a auto attack reduction god, along with a little bit of CC, a little bit of safety, and then a CC bot. Like, I think his biggest problem is he just doesn't have a clear spot that he can shine in. You can't really get to the late game that well with him to be able to just one the carry, but maybe mana cost makes him a little bit better in support. Well, it definitely makes him better in support. Cooldown on the hook slam makes him definitely better, and then this is more of a solo lane buff. So I guess they just want him better in solo lane support, and like it says up here, probably does. And then Guan, I don't know. Talu Assault cooldown, that ability is OP. I'm worried. These I saw. Oh, I thought this was just a server side thing, but I guess it's the character is not being optimized. But yeah, now you can actually be immune when you go into the air. So yeah, that's the patch. Like I said in my Discord, if you're in my Discord, there's a lot of stuff I like in the patch, but there's also a lot of stuff that I just didn't like, and I think they missed completely. But I mean, overall, it's a good. I don't know if this is the last patch before Worlds or the second to last patch, but I don't know. It's gonna shake up the meta a little bit, and I'm excited to just kind of give everything a try. And I'm excited for what can become from all this. So, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys, I don't know, enjoyed the video like I just said. I don't know what I was gonna say there, but hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. I'll see you guys next time.